I'm here to help you fall asleep tonight. Before we begin, like the video, subscribe, and tell me, where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Now, get comfortable, relax, and let the story carry you into the night. The Last House on Black Hollow Road. In the autumn of 2020, just outside a small town in Oregon, there was a road that most people never noticed. It didn't appear on maps. GPS wouldn't show it, but every so often, a traveler would find it, by accident. It was called Old Creek Road. Those who found it described the same thing: a narrow stretch of cracked pavement winding through thick pine woods, the trees leaning close, as if listening. The road was always empty. No signs, no houses, no other cars. Just endless trees and the soft sound of wind high in the branches. One October night, a woman named Leah was driving home from visiting family. The sky was overcast, the air cool and damp, and the highway was quiet. Then, she saw it, a narrow side road, barely visible in the glow of her headlights. Without really thinking why, she turned onto it. The road was smooth at first, lined with tall pines that crowded the edges, their branches heavy with mist. Leah drove slowly, the world around her growing darker, quieter. The deeper she went, the more the air seemed to thicken, as if the night itself was pressing closer. She glanced at her GPS. The screen was blank, no signal. Only the faint glow of her dashboard lit the interior of her car. The road twisted and turned, the trees leaning closer with every mile. And then, the pavement ended. Before her stretched nothing but forest floor, no road, no tire tracks, just fallen leaves and soft earth. Leah stopped the car. The night was utterly still. No wind, no crickets, no sound at all. She turned the car around, heart beating a little faster now, but the road behind her seemed longer than before. The trees felt closer, the darkness deeper. Finally, after what felt like hours, the pines opened up, and the highway appeared once more, empty and silent beneath the stars. Leah never spoke much about that night, but sometimes, when travelers pass that stretch of highway on misty evenings, they say they glimpse a narrow road leading into the trees, just for a moment. And those who know the story say, don't turn onto it. Some roads are meant to stay lost. And now, as you close your eyes, let the mystery fade into the quiet of the night. The strange road is far away, and you are safe, wrapped in the calm of sleep. Jonah didn't speak much about that night afterward, but in the quiet moments of his journey, as he drove empty highways beneath the stars, or rested at small-town diners, he would sometimes remember the house at the end of Black Hollow Road. The memory stayed with him like a half-forgotten song. The creak of the porch, the stillness of the upstairs room, the soft glow of the lamp before it went dark. And though he told himself it was nothing, just an old house with a curious lamp left behind, some part of him wondered. Weeks later, Jonah found himself passing through the same area. The trees were bare now, their branches etched black against a silver sky. A cold wind rattled the dry leaves along the roadside, and as he neared the turnoff, his headlights fell once again on the crooked sign, Black Hollow Road. He hesitated, then, drawn by that same quiet curiosity, he turned. The road felt the same, narrow, cracked, lined with tall trees that leaned close as if watching. His tires crunched over frost-covered leaves. The mist curled along the ground, soft and silver in the moonlight. The house appeared at the end of the road, waiting. But this time, there was no light in the upstairs window. Only darkness. Jonah parked at the edge of the yard, engine idling. The air was cold, and the world was silent, save for the soft ticking of his cooling engine and the whisper of the wind through the trees. He stepped out, boots crunching on frozen grass. The house stood still, its windows black and empty. Jonah approached the porch. The steps groaned beneath his weight, the sound loud in the hush of the night. The door, as before, hung slightly open. Inside, the house smelled of cold and dust. The moonlight streamed through the cracked glass, silvering the empty rooms. He stood at the base of the staircase, listening. The house seemed to listen back. Then, faintly, so faintly he wasn't sure he heard it at all, a soft creak came from upstairs. Jonah climbed the stairs, each step slow, careful. The landing stretched before him, the door to the upstairs room ajar. He pushed it open. Moonlight bathed the bare floor. There was no lamp this time, no furniture, just the stillness of the night, the hush of the house, the soft sigh of wind through the broken window. Jonah felt no fear, only a deep, quiet wonder, as if the house had been waiting for him, not to frighten, but simply to be seen. He stood there for a while, listening to the night. Then he turned, descended the stairs, and stepped back into the cold, crisp air. As he drove away, the house faded into the darkness, the trees closing around it once more. And to this day, they say that if you find yourself on Black Hollow Road, and you see a light in the window of the last house, you should pause and listen. The house isn't lonely, it's simply waiting, quiet and patient, part of the night, part of the story. And now, as you settle into sleep, let the house fade into shadow, the road fall silent behind you, and the soft night wrap around you like a blanket. The mystery is far away, and you are safe. As the seasons turned, Black Hollow Road seemed to slip further from the world. Spring brought new leaves to the trees, and wildflowers pushed through the cracks in the old road. Birds nested in the eaves of the empty house. But no one visited. The house stood quiet, tucked beneath the shadows of the forest, as if waiting. Jonah didn't return, not for a long time. But the memory of the house stayed with him, gentle and strange, like a dream you can't quite leave behind. And others began to speak of it too. Travelers who took wrong turns late at night. Hikers who wandered too far. All told of the same thing. A narrow road that seemed to appear where it hadn't been before. A house at its end, hidden among the trees. And sometimes, just sometimes, a pale light glowing in an upstairs window. No one ever saw who lit the lamp. And no one stayed long enough to find out. One warm summer night, two travelers, friends passing through the area, found themselves near the old road. The air was still, heavy with the scent of pine and warm earth. The moon floated high above, casting soft silver over the land. They didn't plan to stop. But when their headlights caught the narrow lane, curiosity pulled them in. They parked at the edge of the overgrown path and stepped out. The road felt forgotten, the kind of place the world had passed by long ago. The friends walked slowly, their footsteps quiet on the cracked pavement. The trees stood tall and silent around them. The deeper they went, the more the night seemed to hush, as if the forest was holding its breath. And then they saw it. The house. It rose at the end of the road, worn and still, half lost in vines and shadow. And in the upstairs window, a soft, flickering light. They stopped, watching. The glow didn't waver. It felt almost peaceful. For a long time, they stood there, listening to the quiet. The wind whispered through the trees. The night wrapped gently around them. And then, as softly as it had come, the light faded. Slowly, like a candle burning low, the house returned to darkness. The friends turned back, walking the long road beneath the moon, the mystery of the house resting softly behind them. And to this day, they say, Black Hollow Road waits. The house stands, as it always has, at the edge of the world, patient, silent, part of the night itself. And now, as you close your eyes, let that road fade into the distance. Let the house slip gently from your thoughts. Time passed, as it always does. The forest grew thicker around Black Hollow Road. The trees leaned closer over the cracked pavement, their branches weaving together like quiet guardians. The house at the end of the road stood unchanged, as if untouched by the years, as if waiting. And still, on certain nights, when the air was cool and the mist rose from the ground, the pale light would return. Travelers who glimpsed it spoke of a soft glow, steady and calm, in the upstairs window. One autumn evening, when the world was hushed beneath a sky heavy with clouds, a woman named Elise drove along the quiet backroads of the area. The rain had just ended, and the air smelled of wet leaves and earth. The last light of day had faded, leaving the world in soft shades of gray. Elise didn't know the story of Black Hollow Road. She was simply searching for a shortcut, hoping to make it to the next town before night settled in completely. And then, as the mist began to rise, she saw it, the narrow lane, half hidden by overgrown brush, a crooked sign barely visible in the gloom. Something about it drew her in. She turned onto the road, her headlights cutting through the soft fog, the tires crunching gently over fallen leaves. The trees seemed to fold around her, their branches arching overhead. The deeper she drove, the quieter the world became. And then, at the end of the road, the house appeared. It stood as the others had described, worn, silent, part of the night itself. And in the upstairs window glowed that familiar pale light, steady, warm, like a lamp waiting in a room long abandoned. Elise stopped the car. She sat for a long moment, watching. No movement, no sound, only the light and the soft whisper of the breeze through the trees. She felt no fear, only wonder, and as she watched, the light flickered once, twice, then slowly faded, as if the house had shared its quiet secret and was ready to rest again. Elise turned back down the road, the mist parting gently before her. The house disappeared into shadow, the night folded in behind her, and Black Hollow Road kept its mystery for another day. And now, as you rest, let that quiet road fade from your mind. The years continued their quiet march. Black Hollow Road remained hidden, wrapped in trees and mist, as forgotten as an old dream. The house at the end stood unchanged, a part of the land, a part of the night. Those who spoke of it did so in soft voices. Not because they feared it, but because it felt like a place that deserved respect. A place that kept its own company, that asked for nothing and harmed no one. The story of the pale light became a kind of local legend. Children whispered about it at sleepovers. Older folks told of it on porches at dusk, the words drifting into the summer air like fireflies. But always, the story ended the same way. The house stood silent, the light came and went, and no one ever knew why. One cool autumn night, long after the last leaves had fallen and the wind carried the first hints of winter, a young man named Sam found himself near Black Hollow Road. He wasn't looking for trouble. He wasn't looking for mystery. He was simply driving, lost in thought, letting the night guide him. When the turn appeared, he hesitated. The sign was worn, the road barely visible, but the moon shone down, silvering the world, and curiosity, as it so often does, led him forward. The road was quiet, the trees tall and still. The air smelled of pine and cold earth. Sam rolled down his window, listening to the soft sounds of the forest. And then, through the trees, he saw it. The house, dark, waiting, and in the upstairs window, aglow. The pale light flickered gently, steady and calm. Sam stopped his car and sat quietly, watching. The night wrapped around him like a blanket. The house stood as it always had, patient and peaceful. He didn't get out. He didn't need to. Somehow, he felt the house wasn't calling him closer. It was simply sharing a piece of its endless, quiet vigil. And after a time, the light dimmed. The house returned to darkness. Sam turned back, the road stretching before him, the world silent and soft. And the house at the end of Black Hollow Road kept its secret, waiting for the next traveler to pass by, the next quiet night, the next silvered mist. Now, as you breathe gently and deeply, let that forgotten road fade into the distance. Let the house slip away into the soft dark. And so, Black Hollow Road remains, hidden, quiet, forgotten by most, remembered by few. The house at its end stands as it always has, patient beneath the changing skies. Seasons come and go. Spring rains, summer winds, autumn leaves, winter snow. The house watches it all in silence. Sometimes, on cool nights when the mist rises and the world grows still, that pale light appears again in the upstairs window. It glows softly, never bright, never frightening, just steady, like a lamp left burning in a room that no one has entered for a very long time. Travelers who glimpse it feel no fear, only wonder, a quiet reminder that some places keep their stories close, offering only a glimpse to those who pass gently through. No one knows who keeps the light burning, and perhaps no one ever will, but the house keeps its watch, the forest keeps its hush, and the road, cracked and narrow, waits for the next quiet traveler to wander its way. Now, as you lie still and peaceful, let Black Hollow Road fade into the distance. Let the house slip into the soft dark, where mysteries rest and dreams begin. The night is calm, you are safe, and sleep is here.